Some events are just so massive, so dangerous to the powers that be, that history itself gets a rewrite just to make people forget. Well, today, we're tearing that page out of the history book. We're going to talk about the single biggest battle the world government wants you to believe never even happened, the God Valley incident. So 38 years ago, the seas weren't run by Roger or Whitebeard. No, they were dominated by this terrifying crew right here, the Rocks Pirates. And this wasn't just a crew, it was basically a ticking time bomb, a collection of future kings and emperors all forced to fly the same flag. The fall of this crew was a game-changing event. It completely reshaped the world. And yet, there's almost nothing about it in the official records. The world government went to some serious, almost unbelievable lengths to bury the truth. So that's the big question, right? What on earth happened on that island that was so dangerous it had to be completely erased from history? To really get what happened at God Valley, you have to first understand the man who lit the fuse. A guy whose ambition was basically a force of nature all on its own. Okay, so this is it. The only known wanted poster for Rox D. Xebec. This guy's reputation just exploded after he took down a Navy admiral, attacked a ship that was carrying tribute for the Celestial Dragons, and then directly challenged the rulers of the world. He wasn't your typical pirate. He was more like a destructive revolutionary with one single terrifying goal in mind. And there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth. This was never about finding some treasure or being the freest person on the sea. Rock's ambition was absolute. He wanted to overthrow the gods themselves and install himself as the planet's one and only ruler. So, you might be asking, how did he get such a powerful crew together? Well, Rox didn't care about loyalty. He used this thing called the Davy Backfight, which is this super brutal pirate game, to literally force the strongest pirates he could find into his crew. He built an army of monsters by just beating them and claiming them like property. And just look at this lineup. I mean, come on. This isn't a crew, it's a future Hall of Fame of the world's most dangerous people. You've got a young Whitebeard, Big Mom, and Kaido, all serving under one captain. The amount of pure destructive power on that one ship was something the world had never seen before, and honestly has never seen since. But while Rox was cutting this bloody path across the world, another powerful leader was going through a huge change of heart, and that set them on a direct ideological collision course. Let me introduce you to King Harold of Elbaf. As a young prince, he was super arrogant, an isolationist who thought giants were better than everyone. But then he traveled the world, and his entire perspective just flipped. He started to believe in learning from other cultures, and even making up for the past mistakes of his own people. And this, right here, put him in direct conflict with his old friend Rox. I mean, where Rox saw a world that was his for the taking, Harald now saw a world that needed to be shared. One guy believed in absolute power through force, the other in peace through understanding. Their whole philosophies were polar opposites. And the final straw came when Rox asked Harold to join him in his war against the world. Harold, who was a king now, refused to sacrifice his people for one man's ego. He basically told him their business was done, and just like that, their strange friendship came to a really bitter end. All right, so Rock's ambition is at an all-time high. The world is on edge, and a whole series of events starts to converge on this one tiny, unaffiliated island, an island that was about to become a legendary battlefield. And this is the truly horrific event that kicked everything off. The Celestial Dragons would pick a nation that wasn't part of the world government, descend on it, and for 3 weeks, they would hunt the local population for sport. And this time, it was God Valley's turn. So this is how the perfect storm really started to form. First, Shakuyaku, the Empress of Amazon Lily, gets kidnapped. Then, a tip leaks out that she, and a huge pile of treasure, including rare devil fruits, is on God Valley as a prize for this sick human hunt. That one piece of information set the entire world into motion. The Rocks pirates mobilized, seeing a huge payday. At the exact same time, the Roger pirates set sail to rescue their friend, Shaki. And of course, the Marines, led by Vice Admiral Garp, moved in to stop both of them. Suddenly, 3 of the world's biggest powers are all heading straight for the same tiny island. What happened next was just a complete free-for-all on a scale that is hard to even imagine. It was this unavoidable flashpoint where pirates, marines, and even gods would clash in a battle that was going to decide the fate of the entire era. And then, in the middle of all this pure chaos, the impossible happened. To protect the celestial dragons and their slaves from the insane power of rocks, Marine Vice Admiral Monkey D. Garp formed a temporary alliance with his #1 enemy, Goldie Roger. A Marine hero and a future pirate king fighting side by side. Just wild.
But just when you think things can't possibly get any crazier, another major player reveals their hand. Saint J. Garcia Saturn, one of the 5 elders who secretly rule the world, shows up and transforms into this monstrous demonic creature. And he didn't care who was a pirate or who was a marine, he just started attacking everybody.
And right here, Saturn pretty much tells us why they wanted to hide this whole thing. Staring down rocks, he screams that people like him, people who know some kind of forbidden truth, they have to be expunged from the annals of history. So this wasn't just about stopping a pirate, it was about silencing a secret that rocks clearly knew.
The end of this fight was just absolute pandemonium. You've got Garp and Roger's combined galaxy impact, you've got Kaido and Big Mom's Aigoku sovereignty, and Rock's own pandemonium of the abyss, all crashing into Saint Saturn. The combined power of these attacks was so huge, it literally shattered the entire island of God Valley.
So when the dust finally settled, the world was completely and forever changed. The Age of Rocks was over, but the ripples from this secret war would be felt for decades to come. The place where it all happened was just gone. The island was shattered by the fight, and then it looks like it was just swallowed by the sea. God Valley was literally wiped off the map, which was, step 1 in bearing the truth.
The cover-up started immediately, and man, was it effective. The world government couldn't admit that one of its top leaders was some kind of monster, or that their best Marine had to team up with a pirate to win. So they just created a news story. Garp, the lone hero who single-handedly defeated the Rocks pirates. He got a title he would end up hating for the rest of his life.
And then there's this, maybe the most shocking twist of all. As Roger's crew was gathering up all the leftover treasure, they found a chest. But inside wasn't gold or jewels, it was a baby. A baby they would raise as one of their own, who would one day grow up to become the Emperor, red-haired Shanks. So, the battle gets erased. A new era begins. But those words from Saint Saturn, they still hang in the air. Rocks wasn't a threat just because he was powerful. He was a threat because of some truth he knew. A secret so dangerous, it had to be expunged from the annals of history. The God Valley incident might be over, but its real mystery, the secret that was buried under an entire island, is still out there.